Hi everybody, I stumbled upon something very interesting from Sherman Washmiga's Token Economy. I think this is really exciting to think about. Right now in the world, there has been a lot of talk going around tokenization as a form of web system or even tokenization as a form of ownership of real world assets. Largely by real world assets, I mean anything which has value can have ownership into it, and tokenization simply means distributing that ownership and having multiple people own a part of it. It's kind of a distribution mechanism, right? One of the interesting thoughts that I had regarding this was people's identity and people's information online. For example, all these years, the past 20, 30 years of internet era, and obtaining of information was the actual deal, right? When people logged into Facebook, people logged into Instagram for the first time because they wanted to know what other people are doing. They wanted to know what other people's life, where they are, where they're traveling, what are they posting, what are they thinking about. So obtaining information about other people was the actual deal into it. Even now, people can have completely different identities in real life, online, and even online they can have completely different identities in different platforms and different applications. They can have different identities in different social media platforms as well. So identity is in the form of text or photo or videographic information for different people. So that is the identity that we're looking at right now. But what if we are looking at a world in which the value of identity and the form of identity changes? Because right now we are moving into a phase where obtaining information is not the real deal, but processing that information, analyzing the information, and probably getting patterns or behavioral aspects from that information, probably these are the things to think about. And so when we look at processing information or analyzing the behavioral patterns, do the photos or the videos or the textual information that we have around different platforms, which is centralized applications, do they really have value into the future? Probably not. When I'm talking about tokenization, why can't we tokenize identities of people, and why can't there be ownership or even distributed ownership over identities of people? I'm not talking about the form of it, because that's like it's like completely a raw thought, so there is no point in talking about the form of it. But again, this can be looked upon, right? Because processing information or even describing people's behavioral pattern, if we bring value into it, and if that becomes an identity and not the photos or the videos that people are sharing, then that can have ownership aspect into it. I'm not really going into the ownership side of things, but just as a thought factor, probably if that has value into it, can that be tokenized, and can that have impact over how people behave in terms of digital identities? I think this is something very interesting to think through.